What's up, you guys? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we, for some reason, are going to be taking a look at Equinox. Now, this one has really weirded me out because it's consistent. I always get several comments asking me to go ahead and take a look at Equinox, and I'm like, what's going on with Equinox that I need to take a look at Equinox? Then recently I actually typed in A Gay Guy Plays into the YouTube search thing, and the first thing that came up was like, A Gay Guy Plays Equinox, and I'm like, what is happening? Why is the universe conspiring to try to get me to go ahead and take a look at Equinox again? But you know, before we jump into the gameplay, let me show you the builds. This is the overextended Mend and Maim build that I featured in one of my videos. If you want to know all the mechanics of that, you can check that video out. And then we also have one of my favorite, this is one of my favorite alternate builds. This is the Peaceful Provocation build. So this turns her almost into like a melee tank. I really like this one. So be sure to check that out. But today we're just going to be playing with the standard non-crazy way to play Equinox. And that's actually very interesting because Equinox is one of those Warframes that you can play a whole bunch of different ways. And I kind of absolutely love her. I think that's one of the big things for me with Equinox. See, this is what really confused me. Usually when people like ask about a Warframe, it's usually because there's something wrong. Like, people love talking about Limbo because they want to rework the shit out of him. You know, everybody wants to talk about Oberon and tell everybody how terrible he is and that he needs to be fixed and whatnot. Like, there's always, it's never a positive when somebody is asking me to talk about a Warframe, and I'm like, why? What's going on with Equinox that I need to know about? Because I actually went ahead and like looked up the wiki and everything. I was like, nothing seems to have changed, nothing weird, nothing strange. Are you just asking me to talk about her because you like her? I don't know, but I figured I would go ahead and give you my 2 cents on Equinox because she is an absolutely amazing frame. Now, as many of you guys know, Hayden Tenno just joined the squad. Look at that. One of the big things about Equinox is how insanely flexible she is. And I think that's absolutely fantastic, especially for pub missions. See, as you can see right here in this instance, we actually have her doing CC. And if I go ahead and swap over, okay, here's one thing that you're gonna learn about me real quick, is I'm actually insanely terrible with one very specific thing with Equinox. I always, for one reason or another, I always confuse her one with her 2. So what ends up happening a lot of the times is I try to use her 2 to kind of like CC an enemy, but what ends up happening is I end up metamorphosizing instead, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I meant to do. So if you catch that, especially since we're doing Kuba farms and whatnot, like the transformation between phases absolutely fucks me up all the time, and I'm like, oh, how embarrassing. So I'm forewarning you, I'm letting you know it's a thing that happens with me. So I'm sorry in advance. No matter how long I've played Equinox, I always end up like using the wrong ability. Now, one of the big things that's awesome about Equinox is how well she scales, and she scales in a lot of different ways. She scales both in her night form and in her day form. So, as you guys know, her ability. Are you coming this way? I need you. In this form, in her night form, she actually has the ability to put enemies to sleep. So putting enemies to sleep basically allows you to open them up to finishers. Now, opening them up to finishers means that you open them up to the use of covert lethality. Covert lethality just basically kills shit outright. Doesn't even fucking matter. Look at this. Look at everybody's asleep and getting murdered at the same time. And the big thing about that too is when you're meleeing them like that, you're actually invincible while you're doing finisher animations. So there's a lot of components to her that helps her, that really helps her scale, and that's just one of the sides. The other sides, of course, since we are doing exterminate. Oh shit! Right, hold on. I'm fucking all of it up. Is of course her ability to Are you guys? Is it this way? Well, what's happening? What's going on? Team? Did what? Are you waiting for me? Okay, let's go up. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. But yeah, is her ability to actually have damage that scales along with the enemies that you're fighting. Now, the thing about this is the fact that she can nuke down entire areas is absolutely amazing, but the way that they did it was in such a way that legitimately you kind of have to work for it. So it's almost, and that's the big thing, is DE never wants to give you, oh no, that's the wrong one. There you go. DE never wants to give you that amount of power. I'm telling you, I'm gonna fuck up all these transformation things, and you guys know how much I like going after these Kuva guys. So what ends up happening, transform, CC, look at that skill, look at that, that's the skill of an Equinox player. They're like, oh god, that's not a skill, stop, just stop. But yeah, that's how an Equinox player rolls. It's kind of like you really just shift to whatever it is that you need at the moment. Do you want to do big AoE damage? Then you go into day form. If you want CC and to be able to like insta-kill things in one shot, then you use your night form. And the thing is, both of them have support in both ways. Because I believe that in your day form, you have an AoE, an AoE buffs for your teammates. So they get power strength, and you also go ahead and get like this massive nuke. So it's kind of like here. You're like, here, listen, I'm gonna give you power strength. I'm gonna give you power strength buff. You can have this good buff. You kill things for me, and then I nuke everything. How does that sound? Does that sound good to you? Because it sounds good to me. And then in her night form, she gets all of these cool defenses so that she can stay alive long enough to CC the shit out of things. And deal, oh no, be a child, wait, no, wait, hold on, I need energy, stop chasing me. No, so it's a really cool synergy because of the fact that she really can tailor herself to any kind of team comp that's going on. Her damage scales, and the cool thing about that fact was we saw the first time, at least this was the first time that I'd ever seen a damage frame whose damage could actually scale. And it almost kind of makes me think about Nidus. You know, she has to work for her stacks, quote unquote, or her charges. And so does Nidus. Well, she doesn't necessarily have to work for them, but her team has to work for them so that she can unleash some, you know, big damage. And that's kind of like, ooh, I got you. Ooh, that was all by fate. But no, and that's the thing, is that these stacks, that the damage that she accumulates is based off of the enemy's health. So as the enemy's health goes up, so does the damage that she can do with her 4. I was about to call it her 5 because, you know, I don't know ability, because she has too many goddamn abilities that I can't fucking remember them all. But as you can see up in the corner, I've got a shit ton. Let's see. I think we're good here. There you go. Like, it's always satisfying to see those big numbers. I mean, it's not necessary, but it's nice. It's definitely nice. You know, especially as a size queen, you're like, yes, I would like big numbers, please. It's not necessary, but it's really cool in her case for the mechanics. Just kind of like when you get the top tier stacks from Nidus and you no longer get numbers, you just get that cool insignia. They're like, hey, listen, we're done giving you numbers. You're cool. There you go. We're like, we're done. That's all. We can't give you any more numbers, so you're done. And I remember back in the day when they didn't actually have like the thousands that are marked in there, and they actually listed out the entire numbers. We were always like, oh my god, let's see how fast you can get it to go up. And it's a cool kind of aspect because it almost incentivizes players. It's like they want to see how big they can get that number. They want to see, you know, how high they can make it reach before they have to kill enemies. And we were actually laughing about it before because we were like, you don't have to take it that high. I mean, legitimately, what you want to do is you want to have just enough energy. You just want to have just enough energy to kill the group, and then restart it all over again. So you kind of always have, you know, one in the barrel, one in the chamber, one in the chamber. I think the saying is one in the chamber. And the cool thing about it too is I like using it because you almost get this kind of what's the word I want to say? You almost get this kind of like radar effect. You're like, where are the enemies? Where are the enemies? Oh, my maim sense is tingling. So you can, yes. Let's see. It's just here? No? Yes, I killed it. Go. So that's kind of like my thing with Equinox, is that even though it is like a big nuke, it's not like a nuke that you can have straight out of the gate. It's a nuke that you kind of get excited working for. We need to take care of that thing on her neck. I did not see that when I was coming out of the customization. But she's really fun to use in that way, and because of the fact that she can swap between forms, it's not like she's stuck just being a damage dealer, right? And that's the cool thing, is because, you know, if that's all you ever see from a teammate, you're like, God damn, oh, do I have the wrong sigil. I have the wrong sigil on the back. I have so many things to change. Oh no. I'm no longer with you. I'm with the people who make the monies. Where are you? There you go. Let's just slap that on so I'm not accumulating the wrong kind of syndicate points. And let's take that thing off of her neck. Will it open? No. Maybe it was an illusion. Maybe it was an illusion. What if only one of her forms has it? What if only one of her forms have it? Appearance. Do you see what I see? You see what I see, right? What? What's happening? I don't understand this at all. Open. Get it off. Get it off. Oh no, I think my Equinox is just stuck. It's just stuck with the disease. No. But yeah, so I'm really curious to see why everybody was so very adamant about just getting Equinox on the ballot. I don't know if people maybe, you know, don't feel like she gets as much representation as she should. And to be honest with you, I see a decent amount of her. I see a decent amount of her, and I think it's because of the fact that you're in pubs so much that you can really swap back and forth and kind of make a difference in your group. That's always really nice. And the fact that she does have scalability, and like, you know, you have some oh shit moments. You're like, oh, I was not ready for this. This team is really bad. Then you can turn yourself into like a defensive healer, you know? You can turn yourself into defensive healer, just CC the shit out of everything, and then when you get a second, switch back into day form and maim the shit out of everything. We have a limbo. I wonder how this is gonna work. Hi, how are you doing? Oh, it's mobile defense. We'll be fine. Let's swap into day form. Let's go ahead. Oh, that was night form. I didn't actually swap, motherfucker. And it begins, and the debacle begins of me not being able to transform. But I think it's already begun for a while, so there's really no swatting it. But yeah, I have a lot of fun with Equinox. It's a lot of freedom, but it is that the only thing with Equinox is because of the fact that you have so many options. Sometimes it can be a little bit daunting. You're like, all right, what's the best way for me to play Equinox? And I mean, legitimately, at least in my eyes, the best way for people to play Equinox is to play both sides, and kind of have a build that does a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Give a little bit of love to everybody and everything. I think my only, I don't know, I'm trying to think in my head if I have any issues with Equinox. The only issue that I really have is my own gameplay of Equinox, where I always swap between the wrong forms. Like, I legitimately, do we have another Equinox on our team? Is this a double Nox team? It is a double Nox team. Look at that. I was just saying that I saw them fairly regularly, so I don't know. I'm curious to see. Why don't you guys tell me in the comments for the people who didn't ask for an Equinox episode, or for the people who did not ask for another Daily Grind video? Because I don't know. I'm seeing that some of you guys are like, oh god, not another Daily Grind video, not another one of these. Sorry. But people have requested Equinox, and that's what you get. So let me know why you think they requested Equinox. because I don't know, I like, you know, she can. Oh, see, that I was meaning to transform. I was meaning to transform to do the CC stuff. But as usual, I can never get my transformations right. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. But yeah, look, her CC is pretty fucking amazing. You can stealth farm with her like nobody's business. And even if you don't end up opening enemies up to finishers, you still do what is it called? You still do stealth damage to them while they're quote unquote unalerted. Ooh. See? You gotta take the mows from behind. Actually I named Rest and Rage one of my favorite abilities before. A lot of people, you know, always think that I'm all about the Loki pack, but legitimately one of my favorites has always been Equinox's Sleep, or anything that opens up finishers, because I love seeing finisher animations, and I know that sounds really geeky, but I really do. It's like each weapon kind of has its own unique take. And the thing is, you can't just do it from the front, you have to do it from behind sometimes too, because that gives a different animation than from the front. And then sometimes you clip through your animations and you make yourself look really, really weird. I also want to know how you guys kind of feel about how your headcanon affects Equinox. Because I know for me, like, Equinox has always been a girl. And why it's so important to some people. I guess maybe it's just that people were looking for something a little bit different when it came to like Equinox. They were like, ooh, we could finally have a transgendered frame, or a frame that swaps between. You guys know, if you guys watch my streams, you know that I'm like the worst with labels. Like, I don't know what to call anything. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people wanted representation. From Equinox. They're like, oh, well, you know, they could represent the duality between male and female. But legitimately, kind of my whole argument with that was, can't the woman be both masculine and feminine at the same time? Because I know that there's a good period of time where my mom was like the breadwinner. You know what I mean? My mom like worked her butt off, and I'll be honest with you, my mom has proven herself to be more competent than any male I have ever run into. In fact, she recently told me how she negotiated her new salary because her old job brought her back, and she was cutthroat as all hell. And I was like, my goodness, like, if only one day I could grow up to be like my mom, because I would have never had the guts to be as cutthroat as she is. I was like, wow, my mom is like scary. And that's the thing about when I see Equinox, is I see Equinox as a powerful woman that's able to master being both feminine and I guess you would say masculine. You know, have the traits of a man. But that's kind of weird to say too, because being you know, powerful shouldn't necessarily be a masculine trait. I'm gonna get myself in some trouble. Listen, all them SJWs, I'm not immune from SJWs. Y'all saw what happened to Sky Williams, right? I can't be talking about shit, or I'm gonna be Sky Williamized, okay? All the women are gonna hate me. Like, Rob said this thing. I'm like, shit. Isn't there enough drama videos out there about me as it is? Jesus. But I guess, you know, I guess they gotta make a paycheck somehow. But anyway. No, this is kind of like my that's why I love Equinox so much, is because of the fact that she represents two dualities, and she does it both very well, and she does it both in a very scaly way. In a scaly way, that sounds bad. But no, because I mean, if you think about it, there aren't that many frames that scale as well as Equinox does, and adapt as well as Equinox does, because let's face it, sometimes if if you're like me, and oh, did I swap into the wrong thing? I did. Wait, no. Hold on. Wrong ability. I get confused too much with Equinox. And let me know, do you guys get confused too? Because still, to this day, I do not master the swap. I am not a master of the swap. I'm sure there are some of you guys out there that like can do it with your hands behind your back, but me specifically, like, I have to do it a couple times. I'm like, oh fuck, I fucked it up again, didn't I? I'm like, don't do it on camera. Listen, you're representing all of the gays. You can't be a shitty Warframe player. You can't. Oh my god. That's like the big thing about Whoa, where is it? It's okay, it's here. It's where it always is. It's where it always is. I have to remember these maps. That's the thing that I love about Equinox is she is actually, I think, to this very day. I mean, unless you count Ash's ability to like ramp up Bladestorm with the melee multiplier, because technically, if you think about it this way, if you want to think about it this way, all right. Oh no, someone's dying. Where's this person? Anyway, well, wherever you are, I'm praying for you. But no, the big thing about Equinox is mainly because of the fact that she can scale so well, and she was one of the few frames that scaled. The only other person that I could have possibly thought of was Ash, because technically, you build up your melee multiplier by hitting enemies, right? So you hit enemies, and usually when enemies are in higher levels, you have to hit more enemies, or you have to hit the same enemy more times. So technically, because of the fact that the multiplier ramps up like that, why are you a different color? Since the multiplier ramps up like that, technically you could count that as scaling his ultimate via the use of melee multipliers, because, you know, of course, the more enemies you the more times you have to strike an enemy in order to kill them, the higher your melee combo multiplier goes. So so technically that's scaling, right? I don't know. I still think that straight out of the gate, Equinox was really the first like offensive frame. Oh my god, I did it again! And I'm incompetent when it comes to this stuff. Ooh. Okay, so that is my one complaint about Equinox. Again, it has nothing to do with the people who play them, but more about the fact that I am shit at transforming. But at least you can clear out enemies real quick and kind of make up for it and be like, alright, we're done. So let me know what you guys think about Equinox, how you feel about the duality of womankind that is represented in her. Did I miss something? Is there some sort of thing that I need to know about Equinox that's happening behind the scenes that I am not aware of, and that's why all these people are asking me to do Equinox stuff? I think that's pretty much it, because I was confused straight out of the gate, like, what's wrong with Equinox? I don't know, you guys tell me. Is there anything wrong? But yeah, that about does it for this. Wow, I can't really talk. That about does it for this episode of the Daily Grind. So pretty much as always. See, I'm so confused about everything. I'm so confused about swapping forms. I'm so confused about why people are asking me to do this. But you know what? As always, oh, see, I can't even get the ending right. I'm done. As always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo body. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.